memasuki
chance to get to the grand finals, and not just that, but a ticket to MSC. And here are the updated playoff brackets.
Geek versus Onyx and RQ versus Alter Ego, obviously. And interestingly enough, these two teams have met in a grand finals before in MPL Indonesia. RQ Season 6, Geek against Onyx that qualified them to M5. It was Season 12, I believe. So it's going to be interesting to see if the same story going to unfold here in Jakarta International Velodrome.
I mean, looking at this again, for both, or all the teams rather, here in the playoffs bracket, they would want to secure upper bracket finals, right? I think we've seen just how competitive it is in Season 15 here, how every team can kind of win, just depending on who has the better day. I don't think you want to go lower brackets. Sometimes we have seen, you know, some teams actually take the lower bracket route and do really well, because sometimes that added pressure, the added stakes gives them more motivation, and gives them, for some reason, a boost for them to perform better. But now, with the ever so crazy changing pocket pick meta from all the teams that we see here in the top 4, it'll be very scary to drop down.
Was there something you wanted to share?
I just want to share a story about Mirko's frustration
I love it.
in the last day.
We live to hear it.
So the first 2 games, he was so very excited to predict the draft. Like, oh, it's gonna be this, it's gonna be that, blah, 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 blah. He's telling me like all these possibilities in the draft. And game 3, it kind of dies down because like they lose the draft. But he was like, you know what? Who cares? Game 4. Game 4 happened. Game 5, he's like scrolling through Instagram, just
While
it's kind of sad to see.
We're cooked. We're cooked.
Man, yeah. I feel really bad for some of the players because they've been there for quite some time. Sometimes it looks like they're on their way to victory. I would actually predict BTR to be one of the stronger teams this season.
Oh, has always been the case.
That's true, actually. That's true. A season ago, 2 seasons ago, with Super Ken in the jungle, he looked really strong. What is it about your team, man?
I don't know. At this point, it's the identity of the robots.
I guess so. But, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like some of the teams are arriving in the venue. We're gonna take to that. Alyssa, take it away.
Lagi di MPL Indonesia Season 15 dan pastinya masih di babak playoff, dan kita akan menunggu kehadiran tim yang hari ini akan bertanding di match pertama hari kedua, yaitu akan ada Geek Fam dan juga Onyx yang kemarin sudah menang dan hari ini akan melawan Geek Fam. Kayaknya sebentar lagi bakal hadir bersama kita culik dan kita tanya-tanya sedikit kali ya. Ada, hai, semangat, good luck hari ini. Ada Make It, di mana Make It? Oke, halo Make It, apa kabar hari ini?
Alhamdulillah baik.
Luar biasa ya, Make It. Kamu sebenarnya ngelihat kemarin nih antara tim Liquid Indonesia dan Onyx, kamu sebenarnya expect siapa yang bakal lawan Geek hari ini?
Udah pasti Onyx.
Wow, udah pasti Onyx. Kenapa tuh Onyx?
Jago aja.
Jago aja. Udah itu aja, nggak ada kayak strateginya luar biasa gitu.
Enggak sih, udah bakal keluar hero aneh-aneh, kan ada konsep juga.
Oh oke. Dan kamu bakal melawan Kairi yang sudah banyak menunjukkan pocket picks-nya. Apa tanggapan kamu nih?
Ya udah biasa sih, gak ada tanggapan apa-apa.
Udah biasa ya. Oke, kamu sudah siapkan pocket picks juga nggak sih di playoff ini?
Udah, Mia Jungler.
Mia Jungler, apakah nanti berarti akan dimainkan?
Bisa kali.
Bisa jadi ya, kita akan ngelihat. Thank you so much, Make It. Good luck ya buat hari ini. Dan kita akan melihat apakah nanti akan ada pertandingan yang seru antara Geek Fam dan juga Onyx. Kita akan lihat di match pertama hari kedua. See you.
Thank you so much, Alyssa, for that report with Geek Fam. It looks like they're in shape, in form, and she had a little bit of a few words there with Make It. And the interesting thing is he mentioned that he's used to Kairi's pocket pick. So that's actually something that we want to discuss later on. But how could they be used to that? We haven't seen Kairi's pocket picks in the regular season, have we?
We have, actually.
Yeah, we have. I think a couple of times. X-Borg, we did see the X-Borg. So I think the pocket picks he referred to were the pocket picks we saw in the regular season.
Right.
Now that he's seen the Kaja, I guess they should be prepared for that. But I really feel like that was a conditional pocket pick where it only worked with the chip and the Lo Yi.
And that's the genius part of Yep, right? He knows what the draft is building to, and I gotta say, like, it didn't really cross my mind even that Kaja jungle is even an option.
Me neither.
You know, but speaking of option, even Make It mentioned that it's gonna play Mia jungler.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that too.
Let's go.
Alyssa looked like she believed it.
Alyssa,
believe it.
Alyssa is too naive. She'll believe anything the players
No,
tell
not
her.
naive, innocent.
Innocent.
Yeah. Shout out to innocent.
Alyssa, don't listen to the players. 90% of the time, they're scamming you.
That's why I scammed them first.
Scam
In
the
the interview.
Oh, scam the
You gotta be a
scammer.
step ahead, man.
scammer gets scammed type of deal. And I think that's what we're gonna have to see here in the draft as well. For Geek and Onyx, for Geek, we've seen them do so well with really good pocket picks. So try to scam Onyx before they try to pull a sneaky one on you.
So Geek Fams arrived in the building, but let's take a look at the Sky Kings with Alyssa.
Kembali bersama Alisa dan kali ini kita akan menunggu kehadiran tim yang akan melawan Geek Fam, yaitu ada dari Onyx yang kayaknya akan bersama kita sesaat lagi dan kita bakal tarik kali ya salah satunya yaitu Kyrie. Kita bakal lihat apakah Onyx mengeluarkan strategi-strategi baru di sini. Ini yang favorit semua orang yang bakal kita tarik kali ya ke sini ya. Halo Kyrie. Kita culik dulu sedikit ya. Oke, hari ini bagaimana kabarnya?
Baik,
Setelah kemarin menang melawan tim Liquid Indonesia,
ya baik.
baik. Sudah expect hari ini bakal ketemu Geek Fam?
Ya sudah,
Oh, oke. Jadi sudah dipersiapkan ya?
ya sudah sih.
Oke, tapi melihat Geek sendiri menghentikan harapan kalian untuk 5 pit di season kemarin di babak play-in. Dan saat itu, apa yang sebenarnya dirasain nih oleh tim Onyx?
Yang season kemarin, ya nggak enak soalnya langsung pulang
Langsung pulang ya?
pertama.
Tapi hari ini untungnya enggak ya untuk playoff kali ini ya? Oke, dan hal apa sih yang sebenarnya paling mengejutkan dari kamu di hari pertama adalah hero-hero yang digunakan? Apakah hari ini berekspektasi untuk menunjukkan hero-hero yang lainnya?
Untuk Ikfam, apa lagi pertanyaannya nggak dengar tadi.
Untuk hari ini apakah kamu akan ngeluarin hero-hero baru mungkin?
Pokoknya lihat nanti.
Lihat nanti ya pastinya. Dan kamu bakal melawan Make Kids nih yang kemarin baru saja mendapatkan award sebagai Rookie of the Season. Seperti apa nih?
Ya, gue juga mau lawan dia sih. Rookie of the season lawan first team jungle.
Wow, dan dia tuh sebagai salah satu monster juga yang dibesarkan oleh Baloy loh.
Ya. Kalau emang jago ini, apa namanya? Scouting Wally jago.
Katanya boleh jago ya. Jadi kamu bakal melihat nanti pokoknya kita lihat aja nanti ya bakal dibantai-bantai.
Yes.
Oke, good luck Kyrie buat hari ini. Semangat dan kita akan melihat apakah tim Onyx akan bisa mengalahkan Geek Fam yang sudah berhasil mengamankan upper bracket sejak di regular season ataukah sebaliknya. So see you di match pertama hari kedua.
Thank you once again, Alyssa, for that quick, catch up with
Yep.
Kyrie, the Sky Kings. Sans always with his signature.
What is that?
I don't know. He did that to me too. I was like, what are you doing?
Just the goofy sons as
Goofy
usual.
sons.
That's the gila in it.
Which is a good sign, right?
Yep.
It's a good sign.
Yep.
I got that was smart.
I like that. I like that.
That was
But
quick.
we're starting to see,
Put it.
a lot more character from Kai. Like in these interviews, he's starting to laugh a lot. I wonder if Sans is secretly behind the camera making that face.
It could be Keyboy. Usually
Could
Keyboy
be
does it.
Boy. Could be Yeb.
Or it could be That's
Ooh.
true.
Guy's a troll, certified troll.
Yeah, I like that, man. Because Onyx, for the longest time, we always see the gameplay from Onyx. Like, we don't have any kind of complaint to that. They are great. But in the stage, when they got asked the questions from Bude Clara, okay, Bude. Just as usual, Bude. What are you guys doing?
What are you guys doing?
They're pulling a Nonic is what I usually say in the interviews
Yeah.
because their interviews are pretty bad.
That's
It
true.
is.
That's true. But we're gonna go straight into our next upcoming match, and we want to know what you guys think back at home. Season 13 Deja Vu. Can Geek secure a victory over Onyx? Because if we take a look at their regular season results, it was a 2-1 Geek victory in leg 1, and then it was a 2-1 victory for Onyx in leg number 2. So, you guys think A, with Make Hits, Geek will win, B, Onyx back to their prime era, or C, it's been intense, you think both games will be... Wait, what? Both game plan unique. Oh, so both the teams come with a unique game plan. All right, so you guys can vote in the comments. It's usually pinned, A, B, or C. We're gonna check in with you guys later on with the results. So we're gonna go straight to our panelists. What do you guys think?
We got to remember as well, just last season, Onyx were knocked out by Geek Fam on day 1 of the playoffs. 3-2 with a Natan and Yves. It was a Geek... It literally gave birth to the term Geekable.
Yep.
Now when you're falling behind, you can always say, guys, is it geekable? That was Geek Fam's worst lineup.
Yeah. I gotta say, I agree. But when they were in their best in Jakarta International Velodrome, they weren't able to secure a spot in MSC. So I'm kind of afraid on what's gonna happen here in this stage because, again, deja vu, that might happen again.
I actually disagree. I don't think the Velodrome, the Season 13 roster, was the best roster. I think the best roster they have
Until now?
is this roster.
Yeah, I agree.
Before that, Season 12. You agree?
Season 12.
It was the M5 roster. Niall.
I prefer Season 13 more.
Wow.
Interesting
Wow.
coming from Geek Community here, but let's take a look at the poster right now, right? 5 playoffs and 4 clashes. So ever since Season 10, I believe that was the season that they didn't make it to playoffs, but Season 11 was the season they made it to playoffs, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's been 5 seasons since that. But every time somehow Geek make it to playoffs, they always meet Onyx, whether it be in the grand finals or in the upper brackets. And so far, it's looking like a yellow-dominated matchup here. What do you guys think about this time?
It's interesting to see that the only time they've won was with their worst lineup. Like, their worst playoff lineup. Obviously, we don't count Season 10. 11 was a very new Geek Fam, just a new version of what we saw from Season 10 with a few members coming in. But, yeah.
They
As
always-
a Fam Unity man, what do you think? I don't know.
I like the story that Geek Fam is trying to build here because every time they're up against Onyx in the playoffs, they're always the challenger. It doesn't matter how good Geek right now is. You know, looking at their performance yesterday, Onyx, I think Geek Fam is somehow still the challenger in this case. And also looking back at the history of Onyx was able to do the MSCs, the 4 Peats, 6 championship. I think this is gonna be a hard match.
I agree. I think predictions are all over the place.
Not for
some
me.
people, obviously, you're Onyx, right?
Yeah? No doubt.
But before we continue this, let's take a look at what you guys thought back at home. Results are out. How can Geek secure a victory over Onyx and whether or not they actually can in the first place? So it
Wow.
looks like, wow, 72% of you guys actually believe that Onyx are back to their prime era. And do you even, will you question that kind of opinion? Looking at the performance in the last points of the regular season,
Oh,
up
boy.
until yesterday as well, with still more pocket picks and pocket strategies they still have on the table. Sheffin, I mean, for Geek
Yeah.
today,
Which is really weird. You mentioned pocket picks, right? This is usually that Beloy is special in.
Exactly.
He excels at pocket picks. But right now, looking at Onyx hero pool and what they've brought on in the playoffs, you can see here we got a stat here. Where's the pen?
well, we have stats,
You know,
boys and girls.
This is the total hero that Geek Fam has picked throughout this season. You know.
Okay,
This
all
is-
the way where?
This is Onyx. This is Onyx. So it's pretty much a 2-to-3 ratio. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. You mentioned about the strategy and try to just contain the pocket picks that they try to bring to the table for Onyx, you know? But I don't think they should even bother doing that. Because it's a bit too wide at this point.
I agree. I think when it comes to certain pocket picks like the Kaja, you don't need to take care. You don't need to really care about it. But let's say we get into the second phase where the pocket picks are usually, I mean, where the pocket picks usually come out. You gotta go and respect it. You know, a couple of times you want to ban out these prio picks, but respecting these pocket picks that can come out, especially when you already have utility jungles, ban out these damage dealing XP for Lutfi could be a good way
I can see
to
that.
go.
I can see that.
Because speaking of these pocket picks, it's actually a really good topic because if we're comparing both of the junglers, the kids that you saw with Alyssa earlier on, right? May Kids and Kyrie, that's where the glaring stark difference kind of happens, right? So far, Kyrie has the highest hero pool.
So,
13 unique heroes picked in the jungle. Meanwhile, for May Kids, only 7. So we're seeing yet another showdown between a veteran player in Kyrie and May Kids as a young blood. Yesterday's showdown, it looked like kind of weird because we were comparing Arfi and Iman, and we saw that Arfi was able to actually kind of get a lot of, I would say, up-ons on Iman, right? A lot of first bloods happening in the lane. What do you guys think about this matchup in particular, though?
For me, I mean, these are the two best junglers in Indo. I agree with what the asset is bringing up here. The statistics have been amazing for both these teams. Junglers, Kyrie and May Kids. It was a toss-up between both of them for my first team choice as well.
ooh.
And the reason is because both of them are so good at assassins, but also at utility. We saw just yesterday Annabelle do really well on utility. Junglers, Rin, who is just amazing on Assassins, but on utility in the regular season, doesn't perform. It's always one or the other. These two junglers have the capabilities to bring the best out of utility, out of Assassin, but it's also because the team surrounding them can do that too. Both of them can play both styles.
You know why? They got something in common.
What?
They were Kyrie in EVOS back then in Philippines? No, right?
No.
Okay. I was trying to say that, but
He was in Blacklist?
yeah,
and
Blacklist.
Onyx.
It was a young Blacklist Kyrie, and his name was Full Clip. I
Full Clip.
believe. Yeah.
Full clip.
Full clip.
Sorry, EVOS fans, for the stray.
It's okay. You tried. You tried to find something.
Make kids from Evos.
Yeah.
I think right now they hope they kept them.
But I'm pretty sure the Geek Fam community are happy that Makids is no longer in Evos, that he's in Geek Fam right now. You can see them actually coming into the venue together. And on the other side, we have the Sonics ready to show their support for their team in the Jakarta International Velodrome. And you know what? I'm pretty sure those of you guys back at home are also huge fans of these two teams. Come over. The tickets are still available. Check it out on the GoPay app and the official MPL website to get free diamonds. So, you know, if you want to meet Mirko as well, or Sheffin, you want to take a picture with them, maybe give a gift to them.
Oh,
That's also
interesting.
possible, right?
And it doesn't matter if you're not Indonesian. If you're a Filipino, there's no excuse.
Yeah,
Come on,
Midnight's
because
here.
Mr. Midnight, can I say the
No.
Okay. Mr. Midnight is
Say
here in
PL.
MPL Indonesia to watch Kyrie, to watch Beloyski
Yeah.
as his people play in the playoffs.
People.
Yes, they are.
Okay. But back on this, the smiling jungler. I think in the back rooms when we were doing our briefing, somebody was like, not so smiling later on.
Who was that?
Jeffin.
Who was that? I actually do not know.
Someone said that. Was it? I forgot who
Sounds
it
like
was.
a Gani thing to say, you know?
Oh,
But I'm not too sure if it's
okay.
actually Gani who said
I think
that.
it was Realize.
Okay, another Onyx
Nah,
fan.
he will realize that it's gonna be wrong.
Whoa.
Why,
the
why?
Sky King.
Why? Is it because of the Sky King jungler?
Well, not really, because
Oh.
Sky King is better right now,
Okay.
currently. For me, at least. But the whole team of Onyx, again, if we're being realistic, Onyx is the better team. On paper, period.
Okay.
In any, like, do you think like there's an edge on a single role in Geek Fam compared to Onyx?
I think so.
Beloyski?
I think as a team,
Kenzie.
as a unit, it's unfortunate because it's weird where I agree with you. In terms of individual power, mechanics, they're not on par with Onyx, but I think as a team, they are better. Like, they perform as a unit so well. They're much more coordinated. Even in Onyx win yesterday against CLID, we saw them scatter a couple of times, especially when the drafts aren't, fully in their favor.
But when it clicks though,
When it clicks. But they were up against a TLID who looked like they were 2 metas behind.
oh yeah, you're right. The Alpha Matildas.
No, that's true.
We've been seeing, I think in day number 1, a lot of blunders, a lot of bad drafts.
Oh, yeah.
Too many bad drafts from a red team in particular. Don't pick Barats. But Juice in first pick still coming in as well, right? So
Weird.
this is where we get to see real drafts. At least I hope. I
Wait.
hope after saying
Don't
that,
jinx it. Don't
imagine,
jinx it.
right? I say that and they're like, Layla or Mia Jungle. No, I really hope here, this is where we get to see real Indonesian MLBB. Because yesterday, it was MLBB.
I mean, in a way, it was
a
Indonesian
version.
MLBB also.
But it's not real.
Brawly type.
That was like that's something you find in the thrift store. It was like a used 2 seasons ago type of, not washed properly meta.
Oh.
That makes sense. I would agree. I think Sheffin, not Sheffin. Why do I realize? I'm doing a miracle. I'm doing a miracle here.
Yeah, why? Okay.
Realize and Arashi also shared that same sentiment, right? It was kind of cool to see how action-packed things were, especially in match number 2. But what is going on with these teams, right? Execution wasn't clean. You mentioned the drafts already as well. So it's a little bit of a recap for those of you guys who missed the action yesterday. A lot of pocket picks resurging. Do you think we might see something new from Beloyski too today?
From Beloyski, I gotta say, I don't think so. Kyrie maybe, despite him picked already
What
13
else
players.
can he use in the jungle?
Leo Mort, Martis hasn't been
Okay.
picked up. Akai is still on the table. Even Dyroth, Onyx really loves the Dyroth back then. for Boots or even for Kyrie if it's if it fits the lineup, because it kind of can complement all the physical damage dealer from the marksman.
What season was that? Are we
Oh, dude, that was season
rewinding?
11.
Is that true? Are we actually going back to that old meta?
It looks like we're slowly getting back to there, right? I mean, we saw the Barats yesterday, although it wasn't utilized properly, it wasn't also comboed properly. Instead of a Barats Matilda, we saw Barats Badang. But I agree in a way, but also I gotta disagree. Some of those picks, I like Dairoth. I think it's a matter of time before we see some more physical shred. But it also really comes down to the composition that they want to go for. If they have a damage dealer in the gold lane and even in the jungle that can deal a lot of damage, physical damage, then yes, the XP Dairoth will come back. The Paquitos will come back with the burst. Imagine, right?
Paquito
Baka
Dairoth?
gets shredded by the Dairoth, and then the Paquito starts coming in, bursting them. I do want to say, though, however, in terms of picks, why I really like Geek Fam is because they just stick to what works. We've seen a lot of teams experiment, and this is the reason you brought up the whole table, the unique hero thing. Yes, Onyx have done this, and it has worked for them. But for Geek Fam, they've taken a different approach, right?
Yep.
Every time the Suyo was left open when it was broken, they would just pick it up. Every time the Joy was left open and it was broken, they would pick it up. Fanny as well. And for the most part in the regular season, teams would just be letting these picks go. So Geek Fam consistently would just be taking these. I don't think it's a reflection of how bad their hero pool is. I don't think it's a reflection of how little strategy they have coming into the playoffs, because they have a lot of strategies, they have a lot of pocket picks. It's just, hey, if we get to pick the same heroes all over again and we keep winning on those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of deal for Geek Fam. They've learned from the past when they've always gone for pocket picks and then they get read out. I'm talking about the Hellcurt,
The Sabers.
the GKs.
Hey, the Hellcurt works in the regular season against Dewa though.
The Hellcurt?
Yeah.
We don't count that match. We don't count the non-playoff teams here.
Oh yeah, I like
Oh.
the fact that Beloyski is pretty much first half is Choloyski, second half is Badangsky.
Badowski.
That's spicy. A lot of things have been discussed, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like the time is here, and the time is now. Match number 1, opening up day number 2. Geek and Onyx are ready, and they're headed over onto the stage in the Jakarta International Velodrome.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first match of the upper brackets. You can see both teams ready, walking in with the fans, escorting them, giving them those high fives. Motivation for the Sky Kings and the Kingslayers, who are going to be meeting once again. So far, the matchup favoring the Sky Kings, with the Kingslayers slowly but surely with possibly their best lineup to date. Will try to give us the best match they can. Let's welcome both these teams one by one, the Kingslayers, Geek Fam! But on the other side, despite having a shaky season, despite having to go all the way from plains to make it this far, the favorites, the Sky Kings, Onyx!
It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish the regular season. And both of these teams shared that same strategy or that story. Yep, coming back, Onyx just became the old Onyx. The glory of Onyx is coming back to Indonesia. And now Geek Fam, the same old script over and over again. And these are the brains that you see just now. Dora DSP, Blovzy, Coach Adi, and also Coach Yep. One of the best in the business in ID.
There's just been so much to discuss that we haven't even really touched their official team lineup here, right? For Onyx, we're pretty sure who's going to be starting with Savero as well as Lutfi.
Oh!
But for Kenziski,
Wow, okay.
the choice in Kenziski, thoughts on this?
It kind of, it's the same with TLID yesterday. Yes, there's an option in RNChiki that's much more seasoned, much more experience, even in the World Championship stage. But at the same time, when you see the scrims, when you see the result that Kenziski has been putting throughout the regular season, then I don't think there's reason for him not being in the lineup.
I think Kenziski is the better choice here, actually, coming into the playoffs. I don't know why, but Chidera has always seemed a bit too safe when it comes to the playoffs, right? Like, the way he plays, when he's on the Natan, it works. When he's on the Claude, it works. But unfortunately, a lot of these picks aren't even meta. We haven't even been seeing the Moscovs get picked up that much. Only once by Kyo, and it won once. For the most part, I think we're going to be seeing more of these team-fighting picks, and that's where Kenziski really shines. Wan, heck, even the Harith and the Grangers.
The Claude, that's also something that can explore too.
That I don't like.
Really?
Yeah, in
it
this
worked
meta.
well.
in the regular season.
Okay.
It's funny that you guys mentioned that because we don't see those heroes on the poster right now talking about Geek's meta picks. No Wanwan, no... What other hero did you
Granger,
mention?
Harith.
Okay,
Yep.
I guess Granger and Harith is there.
I think it's just because in the regular season, Wanwan is a pretty tough hero to pull off, right? A couple of teams just go for those counter picks and go for, I would say, a very... It's just about the clutch factor. The Wanwan is a super clutch hero that does well in a high-stakes setting. In the regular season, when everybody is so calm, when everybody's so chill, it's easier to counter such a flashy hero like that. It's also very easy to counter in the playoffs if you just don't ban Irithel.
Still on that?
Visiting the
Always.
Nightmare
How long?
Mechanic.
I mean,
Up
Miracle
until they
takes
ban
six.
Irithel,
Yeah.
this will be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
But also 1-1 seems to have a resurgence here just because of the fact that Fredrin and Voxia has picked up much more often. But it's still a bit conditional though, at the end of the day. The Farsa has to go away. As you said, the Irithel has to go away. And even in the late game, you would think that 1-1 would have a field day because no one can catch the 1-1. But once you build the Immortalities and the Winter Crown,
With the natures.
Wind of Nature, that's become a whole different story. There's a lot of layers that you have to uncover to be able to win the team fight.
Speaking of layers, we saw earlier on the asset for Onyx. Those pocket picks, man. Look at those win rates. Almost all at 100%.
All of them.
All of them
Valyr's
are
0%.
actually 100%.
For Kyrie.
But was
For Kai.
Valyr on the pocket pick thing?
Yesterday was, I don't think it was here.
Okay, I think they deleted that. They're like, we don't talk about that Valyr game. But Julian coming back in, we haven't really talked about Julian. What made it work? Do you think a lot of these junglers can actually use that to explore coming to the playoffs?
I think it's also the fact that Fabian picked the Alpha first. They need someone that can deal damage, but at the same time sustain the lifesteal, the spell fams from the Julian is going to help him to be able to survive in the team fight. And you know what's interesting? The last time the playoffs was held in Jakarta International Velodrome, Kyrie brought the Julian back too in Season 13.
And they won. That was our 4P.
Against?
What?
Against which team?
Was it Geek Fam?
Was it Geek?
Is it not Bigatron?
Dude,
Oh.
I don't know, actually.
Wait.
Huh?
I don't remember Season 13.
Mirko doesn't remember
Wait, no.
something?
Bigatron got knocked down
Oh, against Evos, maybe.
by Evos. By
Oh,
Evos
yeah.
and then by Geek, not by
Oh,
Onyx.
there you go.
It was
I was
Onyx.
just like,
Mirko's back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make your life
Okay.
worse.
Bro, I was literally tunnel vision on still talking about the point, the Julian. Because, yeah, you brought up some good points there. It was up against the Alpha. I think mainly it was the insta-kill button that the Julian brings to the table. Me and Sheffin were discussing yesterday when I was trying to predict all the draft. I got a lot of it right, and when they picked up the Kalea in the game with Julian, I think that was game 4, right? Up against Onyx, up against TL. I was like, yo, with the Kalea, they need something with an insta-kill. They don't have an insta-kill right now. And then they picked up Julian, I'm like, all right, that works. That enhanced sight is such a good way to combo together up against, with the Kalea against the Alpha.
Okay, that makes sense. But I don't know. We're going to take a look at the keys to victory here first by the Samsung Galaxy. 836
That's a
5G
lot.
for Geek. Yeah, those are 4 points, very long points at that. With Loiski do screening on Onyx mid duo. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah. The Cholosky, even though it's not really the most big hero in the second half of the season for Voloski, I think it's still going to work, especially just trying to contain Sans' movement in the early game and Keyboy's, I guess, synergy with them. So if you can pick those kind of heroes, it would help them by in the long run. But for Onyx though, it's the victory by the way by Samsung Galaxy A36 5G Miracle. Flex pick becomes a choice in the first draft phase.
Yeah.
First draft phase?
That's what they did against Liquid, bro. Low chip, Kaja jungle in the first phase. I think it's great to go with your curveballs early or very late. It doesn't work as, like, I think a mid series pick. It could if it becomes a really, really close series, but if you're trying to end things early, the early parts of the series is where you really want to show up those curveballs. Make them overthink. As we get into the later stage of the series, they're going to be overloaded with so many picks. What do we ban against Onyx? What do we do against this Kaja, you know? And I think that's what happened to TL. They were so confused that they ended up going, all right, 2 metas back. PTSD, flashbacks.
By the way, Miracle, that's Annabelle on top
BTR
5
jump
player
scare.
Lord secured. That was a little jump scare for me too. Is this a flat number of Lords? Or is it like an average?
No, that's a flat number of
Flat
Lords.
number of Lords?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
In a way, it's not really fair because
They have
you know,
gone through playoffs.
I
Each
guess.
teams,
Yeah, you're right. Oh, you were talking about that?
Yeah.
I was talking about the fact that each team plays differently. Some teams play with only 1 or 2 lords. A lot of other teams is playing more of a late game composition. So that's why it's gonna stat is you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Because I was also thinking the amount of games that Philippine teams play should be less than indoor.
Oh, actually, it's a bit more.
Ooh.
We've
Is
been
it
seeing,
more?
yeah. In their first 2 days, they went 20 games. They went all best of 5s full.
Oh, because I was thinking about like regular season because of the
Ah,
amount of
team.
teams that they have in the league.
That's a good point, yes. But I think even then, there were a lot of 2-1s in the Philippines, so it balances it out. And Navi didn't get a single win. So it balances everything
Oh.
out, right? Literally.
Random Navi stray.
I really, I didn't get to see the Force Assassins on Kyrie keys to victory because I would have said something about that in the back rooms. No, the Assassins are still the #1 way for Onyx to win games. It's just if everything's banned out in the first phase, then they'll go utilities.
I don't know about that, Miracle. I actually do not agree with that. Just that
Oh.
Radit Overkill said in the back rooms, as Eternal would say, Sans' movement is much more free when you use that utility. And Lutfi, he's known to play that damage EXP. He's much more comfortable with that. So that's why TL banned the utilities.
No matter what, Onyx have 2 shades to them, right? They can utilize Kyrie utility, they can utilize Kyrie assassin, and of course everyone else will actually kind of accentuate to that play style. So that's what makes them a little bit more scary as we get into the drafts here, presented to by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy A36 5G. Geek Fam on blue, side Onyx on red, Hayabusa ban, Luoyi ban, Fatty Jushin ban
Oh.
is something that we don't see often, and like you just emoted, a Farsa ban in the first phase.
Yeah, no utility bans. You know why? Doesn't matter. It's the Assassins that matter for Onyx.
All right.
Utility bans yesterday by TL was because Fabian is known to be pretty bad on utility junglers. In MDL, he was called a lord for that meta. Here though, you see the Haya, Loyi, Farsa, it's been so good, but they've left open so many different picks. Kalea, Chip, all up for grabs. I think Onyx gotta take, an L here and ban out the Chip. They cannot let that go up against BBB.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Geek Fam, they're known to let go of the chip because they know this is probably the best team that can counter the chip with the Badang, with a lot of counter picks that they have. We saw Witty played a chip against Geek Fam. We saw a lot of team played the chip against Geek Fam.
Oh, what?
And it does not work. But speaking of something that did not work at all in the playoffs is the Pyraminx getting banned out by Onyx. This is peculiar. Yes, it is a prio pick for a boy back then. But now, like, would you say that's still the case?
I'd really say that, I mean, obviously, prio pick for a boy, but I don't like both Jusin and Pyraminx. In the
Same.
current meta, I think these 2 heroes are kind of overrated, you know, even against a blue counter, but the Chip, definitely something we mentioned, would be first pick, will be picked up by Geek Fam, no hesitation there. Now for Onyx, this should be the Kalea choice for Onyx.
Yep.
If they want to go for the safe route, it should be the Granger, Harith, instantly show up your MM. But assassin-wise, I don't think you want to give away the combo of the Chip Joy to Geek Fam.
Oh, you think it's gonna be Joy?
I think it sets up for to be a pretty good Joy pick. Unless Onyx want to just let it go and go Fredrin last pick, right? They go for the Kimi and it'll be the Boxer.
Wow.
They go for a different route instead of the Kalea, which means Geek Fam technically have a way to now go for the Kalea, even though I'm not too big of a fan now of a Kalea and Chip.
Absolutely not. There's little to no damage that can be dealt. Even if you're focused on full damage for the mid laner and the marksman to kind of like complement the chip, I think it's not really a good combo. You need like a CC, like AoE set for the chip to be able to work better. Now for Geek Fam, oh man, they need some kind of dive towards the Kimi, but I don't know, man. Against a Boxia, do you really want to go front to back the nose play? Like, you want to go dive?
Wow.
I was thinking the Fredrin, but like, I'm not a fan here. I think there's little to no answer for the Boxia and the Kimi.
Yeah, I agree. The Valentina isn't really a good answer up against the Baksha. But I see why they've gone for the Valentina, right? They're taking away those big ultimates from Onyx, and they want to get some ready-to-fight heroes. Valen, Fredrin really good at just... Oh, it's a 1-1 early from Onyx. Seeing the Fredrin, amazing.
Oh my
Please
lord.
ban
Careful.
Irithel. Please
Exactly.
ban. Wow! Wait! Wow, guys!
Oh my god!
Wait! That's unheard of, ladies and gentlemen. Why would you ban the Irithel when you pick up Wanwan?
Coach Yab, what
Coach
are you
Yab,
doing?
you're... Hey,
I thought you were a good drafter.
Coach Yab, that... I think that's... He wants to win. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, it's getting a little personal here on the battle. But yes, the Irithel does get banned coming to the second phase. What other heroes should be, the choice to look at here for Geek now?
Oh man, at this point, like I don't mind the Claude, even though I don't really like the way it's set up, because I feel like they need a dive, no matter what. Because the Sparsa is gone, and the mid lane is already a Valentina, and you can't really deal damage with Valentina unless you have a good ultimate. Oh, what's left there? Does Cops want to play a damage EXP, like some kind of a Keto? Even then, it's better against a Boxia, and Kimi can just go away.
Okay.
Is it because they're setting up for an Edith pick for Gobs?
Oh, I don't like it.
Honestly, they need a bit of range here. The Granger and the Irithel ban is amazing bionic. Again, those two picks are usually what you would go for up against the Wanwan right in lane. If it's the Irithel, it's a pure counter. The Granger does well because you have some kill pressure early, and then you can just combo it with either a winning mid duo or an assassin that's super fast paced in the jungle that can kill the Wanwan. Both of those options have been taken away. Onyx really setting up for the Wanwan pick, and Geek Fam are taking away the combos with the Wanwan. Franco ban, Kalea ban, Onyx. I think for Geek Fam, this could be an Arlet for Gops. They want to combo it together with so many CC tools, Valen, Fredrin, and Chips.
Oh my god.
Badang's gonna be the choice for Onyx, another flex still that we don't know of, because Baksha Badang can be flexed. They can still show up with like a Ling last pick, but it's not really looking too good for a Ling. Geek Fam, Arlet and what in the gold lane? They're kind of forced to go like Harith or Moskov. Harith, bad match.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Moskov.
Moskov is the better choice because technically you have side control.
Even when we present the option for Geek Fam, I feel like there's no like clear answer, like a really good answer for this composition. Like this has been a pretty phenomenal draft from Coach Yep, especially with the flex that you've mentioned it earlier, Mirko. Like even Arl, I don't like it because there's a Badang now, there's a Baksha that can really deter the Arlon. It's gonna be a Harith and also oh my lord. If this goes to late game, like the chance of Geek Fam winning really matters on how this chip is gonna be utilized. That's the only saving grace that I can think of. Because I think, yes, Harith is a late game hero, but is it enough against this kind of composition from Onyx?
I think it is. Like the Harith, when it comes to the late game, will do so much more damage than the Wanwan. The Kimi is the problem here.
But how do you get in though?
Oh, you have enough front line, I would say, to open up. The Badang's gonna go in, the Bakshi's gonna go in, but it's gonna be held down by the Glue and the Fredrin. So it really is a composition that plays around the Harith, that wants to enable the Harith. Onyx need a way to deal with that. They don't have the Farce already. That was why it was banned out by Geek Fam. They literally set up for it. They go for a CC in the end. I'm not too big of a fan of the CC here. You do well against the Glue and the Fred, but against that CC, you might get locked down.
Okay, and with that being said, we're gonna throw it over to our casters. Gani, Realize, take it away.
Fam marches on the domain of the Sky Kings, the Jakarta International Velodrome. It bore witness of the Sky Kings engraving their status to immortality when they were able to get that 4-peat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first match of the second day of the playoffs of MPL ID Season 15. It is me, Realize, and Gani.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we will see how the first game will go. Remember, the team that wins this match will have a step closer to EWCMSC and will have that final upper bracket slot in the playoffs.
That is what they want, and that is what they need. We need to remember, it was Geek Fam that knocked Onyx out of playoffs contention last season at El Dorado Bandung, but now it is in their turf, their neighborhood, their domain. So we shall see. As we take a look at the draft, it was summed up completely by our panelists back there, the fact that they have the 1-1 picked up, I think it's going to be very strong. But against the Harith in lane, it's going to be one hell of a time.
Let's see. It seems like Beloyski forced to use his flicker early there, and that's already a win. And take a look at Sans just chipping away the health bars of a boy. Oh, that's a mistake, Boy with the flicker almost takes a boy down there in the mid lane.
They might have objective prio now because 2 spells burnt. That's the flicker in a boy and Beloyski, the 2 playmakers of Geek Fam. Again, the trio mid, even the duo mid from a boy and Beloyski. They are very strong and operating in the rotational forms of Geek Fam. As we take a look at the emblems, Brave Smite for the Valentina. So a boy wants sustain. He wants to be able to skirmish a little longer and have the sustainability. But Keyboy,
that's a taunt, that's a stun. Keyboy is actually the one who will be punished for. Wow, Geek Fam, great recovery.
it's on the wrong neighborhood right there. I think it was trying to scout something again. Keyboy with the Badang is very strong. Sans though, receiving heat, but he's gonna be fine. So as of now, obviously Onyx are trying to operate behind this Baxia in the hands of Kyrie, yet to reach level 4, or rather, already level 4. So now, he has that anti-region to play around in the little skirmishes.
Yeah, it seems like both teams now setting things up for that first neutral objective. Economy, still, of course, it's little 2, and no advantage. Nakeds is on the turtle now.
Yep, Kyrie still scouting as well, Keyboy. No fist crack just yet. Sans pops a traction pulse.
That's a good immobilization, and that's gonna be a commitment from Onyx. They will take down 1.
Oh, there you go with the Brazers, Rat. And they are able to take down Keyboy, but now Sans with a double kill. They move on even further.
Uh-oh, things are not looking good here for the side of Geeks. Gobs now chipped away as well. Beloyski though from the flanks.
Oh, Gobs is so low. He's going in, Lutpi.
Oh, I don't think he will survive. Another kill on the board for Onyx. And that will be free turtle for Onyx as well. 1K goal now.
It's a prolonged fight right there. I mean, they were able to just hit it back and forth. And I think one of the best, I'd say, privileges of Onyx draft is the fact that they have so much fighting power. Again, with the Baxia. And the pop as well from Sans, the traction pulse. That is actually a utility ultimate, but let's take a look at the talent prediction for the new application. Go pay. I think it's equal, but more siding towards Onyx with 3 of us, Eterna, me, and you.
Yeah, it's again just chefing right wild all the predictions, but I love that confidence. And let's see, will that prediction come true or not? 1,500 gold lead, first 3 minutes. That's a lot, realize.
That's pretty much it, right, for Onyx. Again, they have so much prio on the objective takes as well. The fact that this Baxia has so much agency to move around the map, again, follow suit in the fight.
That's a flicker. That's a shortcut, Keyboy. Half HP. Geek Fam now needs to find an opening. Makeits jumping in. Not really find the connection that he wanted. A bottom side, it's still a pure 1v1. Kenzie versus Savero. And it seems like it's still equal. Savero, very aggressive. That's going to be Savero. Just
going
popping the crossbow attack. Good spacing by Kenzie. That's going to be Onyx there. Just surviving. Still though, they're in the lead.
Oh, Savero was almost able to take down Kenziski. I thought it was going to go for the kill fully, but again, Kenziski was too far to reach that proximity of crossbow tang. But up top, it's only Lutpi and Gobs again, just shuffling it around. And I think so far Onyx is doing a very good job on just scouting the global presence of Geek Fam through that shortcut, because Kyrie, so tanky, can roll around, open up the bushes for Onyx, and that enables them to again have prio on the objectives. Now 9 seconds to the turtle this time around. I think the gold laners might join in the fight. I mean, the 1-1 is already level 6, Kenziski as well, level 6. So this might be a long dance for the objective, but Kyrie is gonna come and follow up. And Lutpi has the War Axe ready. I don't think it's going to rotate, but it might just happen.
So it seems like both teams, right? They're taking it slow here. Waiting for more info, waiting for more rotations. Keyboy shows himself there. Oh, that's a miss there from Sansa's ult. Lutpi joins, so that's the green light for Onyx to just commit on towards the turtle. Geek Fam, what do they respond with?
Oh, Kyrie gets the turtle, and now it's gonna be Onyx pouncing forward.
Oh, that's a Shaman Force pops! But Sans caught it red-handed. That's gonna be an immobilization all towards Kyrie. That's gonna be Kyrie actually soaking a lot of damage. That's gonna be Kyrie surviving with the shield unity. Savero, though, is there to provide the damage and find a kill. Beloyski goes down. That's gonna be Onyx finding the equalizer there with Beloyski. And yeah, still Onyx just winning on the fights and the neutral objectives here for the first 5 minutes.
Because they have so much control, right? Again, the current call is somehow a CC, and then you have the Badang as well. Kyrie just, again, playing... you basically have kind of like a crash course in the Boxia, right? The chip has it, the Boxia does too. And the fact that the Boxia can just roam around is indeed very, very good. Plus, the traction pulse, the icing on top. Make it!
That's an engage. Make it 2v1. 3v2 now. Make it very low. Still able to sidestep from that threat. And still 2,000 goal lead here. Geek Fam, they are catching Suresh still.
Yeah, Onyx is throwing hands left and right, and as of now, it's Savero with 1 kill, the 1-1 against the Harith. You would argue that maybe the Harith does have the upper hand. Beloyski flicker crash course.
On towards Sans. Shortcut pops committed. Boy
What?
jumps in. That's very risky. But he's A-OK. Now Onyx looking for the traction falls. Connecting! And that's going to be Beloy punished for the 3rd time, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, 3K established.
There you go, the follow-up is so quick, it's not telegraphed. Because once the traction pulse hits, Kyrie can just jump in with the shield unity and catch the players of Geek Fam slow in his ultimate. And now it's up to Onyx to control, again, the tempo of this game. 7 seconds to the turtle. Savero is able to acquire that turret down bottom. As now they convene, as they look for this objective next on the chopping block. They have 2 turtles ready, and this might be a perfect turtle. But Geek Fam, they don't want to let it slip from their hands.
Nakeds now contesting under the turtle. That's a stun off on towards one member. A boy goes down. That's a kill for the turtle for now, but now it's going to be Naked stuck isolated, and Onyx will shut him down. And that's going to be 4K already in hand for the yellow porcupines.
They went ham on the players of Geek Fam. And that was Naked's actually stealing the turtle, so at least they have some sort of a reminiscent. Yeah, but Savero might caught in no man's land.
Shortcut, great play by BBB. That's gonna be Savero punished the first time. Now, will there be counterplay as Lupi jumps in with the engage? Good CC. Beloyski very low.
Beloyski is so low, and Keyboy gets a boy. That's a boy versus a boy, and Lutpi gets the kill. Gobs is remaining with Make It.
Uh-oh, they still want beef. Gobs very low. Nowhere to go as Onyx. They are under the turret, looking for more kills, but Kenziski finds an important shutdown on towards Lutfi.
Ah, the blue Lenin arrives in time. A heroic entrance, but that's a kill to only Lutfi. They lose 1, but they're able to grab 3 to 4 kills for Onyx. And now it's 10-5, 4K gold lead. That was Savero caught in the wrong side of the tracks. So at least for now, Onyx, it's all about resetting, because look at the wave down bottom, it's gonna crash towards them. And they haven't been able to at least establish that priority on just pushing the waves even further to Geek Fam.
Seems like now, tempo gone down. 20 seconds on the clock for the first lure, ladies and gentlemen. And item check.
Yeah, item check right now, or X again for the CC. And look at this guy, Fiercer for Sounds, right? He can join the skirmishes. And I want to say Holy Trinity, but that's like Savero with 3 items with the Malefic gun. It makes sense, because he needs extra range, because the players of Geek Fam just want to jump into his face. I mean, Beloyski is there. Make it with the Fredrin, even if he's not that mobile compared to the Boxia. But once you get taunted, I mean, it's going to be hard. Oh, shortcut.
Uh-oh, that's going to be Lutfi actually taunted everything. Put in the kitchen sink. He goes down. Kyrie, though, from the flanks finds Malloy. San secures the kill. That's going to be Geek Fam actually now. Their numbers are low.
Backup is here. The Sky Army arrives in time. Sans!
Kenziski will not be able to find the clutch play as Sans is there, but he will be punished 4-4-2 for now.
Wipeout was close to fruition, but Gob still stands, lives to tell the tale. He has to be able to hold this Lord, but Onyx, they will try to get it scot-free. Keyboy's kicking him in into the pit.
I don't think Gobs is able to. Oh, Beloyski says, yes, they might with the shortcut pops. Keyboy finds the stun.
Oh, shortcut, pop. Kenziski boy falls up to with the action. Gob stuck in no man's land in the back.
Let's see Lutfi trying to buy time, but Gobs will do himself as well. That's going to be Kenziski securing the kill. Onyx, though, with the boy Sans here, they're in control of the Lord, but is this the right call?
Yep, they have to hold this. Keyboy, oh! Looks for the fist crack. They have their sights on the Lord. Geek are still meddling with it, though. They have the power to at least fight this, so Onyx knows. They have to reset. They have to take a step back. But I think for now, they're still staying here, so yeah, just trying to also dissuade Geek Fam from taking the Lord.
They know that the bottom lane is favoring their side. That's why they're taking their time here in controlling the Lord. And Geek Fam, they are the ones who need to respond. Either take Lord or clear the bottom side, and that's why they sent in Kenziski. But that shows that, yeah, no Herod, let's fight!
They have to rush this. And Onyx, they might look for something. Lutfi bites the bullet. It's Kyrie jumping in. Traction pulse!
On towards one. That's going to be a taunt. That's going to be Severo tying first in this fight. Great response as Kenziski with the shortcut was able to find the double.
Oh, that's Make It. The smiling jungler just being a terror for Onyx. And now they scramble. Make It!
Oh, Praise's Wrath was not enough for Kenziski. Sunned up, purified pop. Lutfi now. He is isolated. Now with the sidestep, he's able to get out, but Keyboy very low. So that's just 2 for 1 in favor of Geek Fam.
That's a two-man taunt with the Lord Steal as well. Let's Make It. Just keeping Geek Fam together again with the taunt.
Oh, good taunt, 2 men. Kenziski's gun under the turret, but Kenziski doesn't care. He wants beef, and he will find a kill on towards Keyboy.
Oh, Onyx. Now they see that obstacle. Now they see that they might be in a cul-de-sac because Geek Fam are fighting back. They're retaliating. And the shortcut pop, they might want to fight this again.
Uh-oh, is this the right call for Onyx? Good Terrify, Lutfi very low. Shaman Force pops, and Sans actually taking a lot of heat. Kyrie goes down. This is not looking good. Crossbow attack! Finds one, but Kenziski will not survive as well. Severo now still able to find the damage, but that is a great punishment from Severo.
Severo holding the team together. That crossbow of Tang was so clutch. The rookie from Onyx, and now it's Onyx having that leeway to get out of their base, to control their jungle again, to get control of the river and the map. And so far, I feel like if they really want to create that push down bottom or up top, there's always going to be Beloyski with that Y walk to kind of match the pressure. But again, if that happens, he doesn't have the shortcut pressure as well at the same time. So that's going to be a game of options there for Beloyski to choose whether or not he wants to respond to that push, or does he want to look for a pick again, because that has been the surprise factor. But hey, MPL IDX streamer by Good Day, it is BZTV.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and I think the play that they made earlier was the perfect one. Or sent Kenziski down, shortcut to just provide the surprise attack, right? Technically surprise, and they made it work last time round. So now, 13 minutes in, Onyx, they're only up 2K. And I feel like Geek Fam has a lot of ways to neutralize that situation.
And a quick check on the item. Look at Severo with the Athena shield. He knows that Kenziski will just burst him down, so he needs that extra magic resistance. Now for Onyx, 20 kills doesn't really mean anything when we enter the 14-minute mark, because it becomes of relevance now, right? Geek Fam, they're able to, once again, bounce the waves, push it out again. And I think another way to look at it is the fact that, like what you said, they can send a carry across the map to control the pressure, to push out the waves. But once the shortcut hits, it's a quick route to entering the fight. A 4v5 or a 1v5 even can become a 5v5 in a blink of an eye. So now, Onyx has to be able to just scout out that potential. It has been happening with Kyrie rolling around the bush, looking for flank angles that Beloyski might be able to establish. And now Geek Fam, they have dibs on the Lord.
Let's see, that's a conceal. Cancelled by a boy. Keyboy doesn't really find the opening that he wants with that conceal play. Top lane favoring Geek Fam this time round. I want to see how Onyx will respond to this.
They'll take it slow. Again, Severo is here. Oh, look at Beloyski. This is a flank angle. Big brain Beloy, but Kyrie will try to scout it out. No, he's coming from the back!
Oh, looking for the flank angles. Finds the flicker. Oh my goodness, Sans now in threat. Severo, though, will kill Beloyski. That's going to be Kyrie, though. Just stuck trying to buy time for his team. Is this the right call?
Kyrie's just dragged back. The jungler is gone. Make it with the winner crown.
Akiri Make is also falling. Severo versus Kenziski. Rasmo attack will not be enough to take him down. Severo now trying to buy time, but he will be shut down as Sans finds a double.
Lutfi just crawls in the back, and now it's up to Gobs to keep Geek Fam together. Can he hold for dear life?
5 seconds of Aloy. I think they can. Right, Gobs though will again buy time. Winner crown though will be used, and that will be almost an official wipeout there.
I got very hyped for that Beloyski angle because he was down bottom in the bush and he took the Y-Walk up top to get to that purple buff, but he was spotted out, and that crash course was just in vain. Shortcut, not follow up as well, and this Lord is free for Onyx to take. Plunder, absolute plunder for Onyx.
Yep, Onyx, they have equalized on the Lord take. They lost the Lord earlier, but this time around, minute number 16, they will take it. So in about 12 seconds, the Lord will be up. And I think they have time to manipulate the waves. All 3 lanes be in their favor.
Let's take a look at the, base defense from Geek Fam, right? We know, and the panel made it clear, that Geek Fam were the ones who coined the term geekable. They were able to hold the base against Onyx. But I think in this iteration of the draft, it feels like the wave clear isn't the best. I mean, you have Kinziski with the Synchro Fission, but I think that's it, right? A boy maybe, but he needs to be very, very on the move. And now the Lord will march into the base of Geek Fam. Can they end this from Onyx?
Onyx will have to just be satisfied with 2 lanes. That's a Sun onto his Gobs. Taking a lot of DPS by Sun. Still able to flicker out of danger. Lord, half HP.
Lord is relentless. The Crystal exposed as well. But Onyx, they know they have to be calculative on their approaches. They want that inhibitor turret down bottom. This might be yet another siege. Geek Fam, they need to hold.
I think with Kenziski, they will be able to find the defense here. Bottom side, almost Fraction Pulse connects.
Yep. Beloyski was looking for a flank angle, but he went up top. It was so hard for him. Maybe he wanted to cut the waves coming in, right? And just hinder the top side from being pressured even more. As of now, Onyx, they get all the inhibitor turrets. So it's Onyx with the control. 17 minutes coming to 18. Geek Fam. Is it geekable?
Let's see. Kenziski decided to not pop the Shaman Force to defend his inner turret there. That's a conceal. Looking for Beloyski. Will it connect? That's the question. Good spacing, Beloyski. Oh, aggressive flicker there, but doesn't land. So that's, again, a resource spent.
Yeah, but it's a trade, right? Sans also burned his flicker. And as the Kimmy, you really want to be in a safe spot. You really want to distance yourself from the players of Geek Fam, and I think that's going to be information for Geek Fam to use. Maybe they might look for a pick-off against Sans, but I think that he has way too many, protection at this point, right? E-Boy again, Kyrie as well. So I think it's going to be fine, at least for now, because Onyx is also turning down the tempo. They know this flicker might eat them up from the inside, so they hold it for now. As of now, it's only focusing on, again, balancing that wave push. They're creating a tri-lane push, at least for now, to make Geek Fam clear. But number 2, they're prepping for the Lord. 12 seconds onto its respawn. But I think they're also looking for a potential surprise play. They invade Geek Fam's jungle.
Oh, good. Fraction Pulse. No flicker on Beloy. Should be punished. That's a crossbow attack. Actually activated. Now Kyrie looking for a flank. Doesn't really find it. So, yeah, just take a kill and they pull back.
Yeah, it's all about just taking down the war crime general. It's BBP. Deleted from the fray. The Sky Kings again, just cementing their dominance in this game. Kids might look for something. Gobs flickers in.
Aggressive flicker. Good Terrify there. Kenziski, though, is vulnerable. Kenziski will fall. And a boy will fall as well. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Onyx always finds the right button to push, and they find the ultimate wipe out.
The Sky Kings wipes out the players of Geek Fam, and once again they show that they are in the wrong neighborhood. It is Onyx punching the first game, 1-0.
Wow. Onyx They were early game. They got it in the back, mid-game. Perhaps it might sway towards Geek, but they made sure that in the late, that game was theirs.
Yeah, it looked very shaky, right? Because Beloyski was very creative. He was looking for angles that he could really exploit. But at the same time, again, the Tabaxia, it hinders him to be so free at that regard. And again, with Sans as well, you have safe options to play with the Kimmy, right? You have the damage, you have the burst with the Sky Piercer, plus that traction pulse as a utility tool to set up for even greater engages. Because once you do that, Kyrie has access to just jump into the backline. And as of now, it's Onyx dictating the course of this game. But Geek Fam, we saw slivers of what they could do, even make it. It's with the Fredrin, was able to show that he could play the utility jungler.
Man, oh man. What an opening. I have to say, a convincing win. Sure, it's over 15 minutes, but overall, it was a convincing win from Onyx.
It wasn't, right? I mean, kill-wise, if we take a look at the kill leaderboard, rather the scoreboard, they had half of what Geek Fam were able to have. But I think Geek Fam were able to show retaliation again and again, time and time. And they make things hard for Onyx. But obviously, we want to listen to what the panel has to say. So Eterna, Mirko, and Chefin, time is yours.
Chaos, we finally get a game longer than 20 minutes. 9 seconds by all account, but it was a lot closer than the matches we saw yesterday. So, guys, break that down for us. Game number 1.
You want to say something first, Mr. Community?
Hey, this is the story, right? I doubted the pattern.
Okay.
I realized that I have my own pattern. If I doubt the pattern, then the pattern becomes true.
So, cocoklogi.
Again,
What does that mean?
A theory.
Eterna?
it's a theory.
Absurd theory.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy that we got an actual game in the playoffs right now, because yesterday it was like, stomp, bad draft. But this time around, I feel like even though I am very much leaning towards Onyx draft, I realized there's some counterplay that Geek Fam was able to do, especially with Beloyski's chip. But still, there's a reason why I'm leaning towards Onyx, because they have these 2 damage dealers that's so really hard to handle, especially in the late game. You have Sans and also Savero. Now you focus your shift your focus towards 2 people instead of 1 for Onyx. They only have to focus on Kaczynski. That's it.
Yeah, I think we get to see it again here, right? I mean, the 2 damage dealers were a bit too much for Geek Fam to handle. I agree they had a little bit of an advantage in the draft, but I think Geek Fam came back really well with the draft that they were given. It was just that they overcommitted for the turret up top here. Way too aggressive. And for some reason, there was only 1 Winter Crown. There was only 1 way to counter the 1-1 in the later stage of the game that, again, is usually the way you want to deal with the 1-1. You want to get a lot more Winter Crown.
Yeah.
Who else had the Winter Crown?
It's Gops and also
Nakeds?
Beloyski did not build it, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, because he's the guy,
you know, the spearhead, right?
Exactly. He's the guy who's going to be in and then probably dead first in most of the team fights, and that's what we did see. Shout out to Sans. This guy was phenomenal in the game on the Kimmy. All you need to do technically is scale up, and then once you get into a comfortable spot,
tap
play
gaming
from behind. Just play from behind your frontliners. He did something extra. He went forward. He flickered forward. I thought it was troll. He did well.
Player of the game presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy A36 5G, by the way. It looks like Chefin has something to add.
I don't think so. This guy is just,
The monster.
Man. Like, when you're an Onyx fan, you'd be happy to see this, but when you're on the receiving end of it, it's not so fun. You know, it's not so Sans.
This is the play I'm talking about. I was like, yo,
Like, what the hell?
this is not it, Sans. I was like, oh, this is kind of troll. And then he decides, no, it's not, Miracle. This is how gila I am. Again, though, this composition for Geek Fam, we gotta talk about it a bit more, right? Unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end, but I see what the vision was. The vision was with the Valentina, the Fredrin, the Glue, and also the Chip to overload your opponents with CC, to lock your opponents inside of the winning condition of Geek Fam, which is the Zaman Force in the later stage of the game. With the Holy Crystal, with the Divine Glaive, it doesn't matter who takes the damage, even the Bakcha is going to be melted down. This is why the Harith is of crazy priority, and they try to play Mr. President with him. Unfortunately, some of these fights, Beloyski tried to go with a crazy flank again, trying to go for Sans. And I think the biggest mistake for Geek Fam was, number one, losing out in the early game that bad. Like, they should have, by all means, given away a few neutral objectives to trade with the Chip. Go in the bottom lane, play for your strong side, play for your main carry, which is the Harith. But they decided to contest a lot of the neutral objectives that got them in a position where they were down 4,000 gold. Then they recovered, but then they overcommitted, they overheated, pushed in way too far up top. They got punished by Severo, and then all momentum was lost there. They tried to go for a couple of Hail Mary shortcuts, and it didn't work. It ended up with them losing all 3 base turrets, and then at that point, it was kind of like a seal the deal type of objective to take.
By the way, on that point, right, protect Mr. President for Kenziski at the later stage of the game. We actually heard a little bit of a gasp from Sheffin when he saw that final item come in for Kenziski.
I wouldn't say a guess, but I see where the vision is, because like he's the only real damage dealer that Geek Fam has. So like it or not, you're gonna be the one that's gonna have the most burden to carry your team. And I actually kind of like that Wishing Lantern plus the Blood Wings combo. No Winter Crown at all for Kenziski, but I was actually kind of like befuffled. What's the word? Kerfuffled?
What is that?
I don't know.
Gobsmacked, maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, okay, we have 2 Gobsmacks, guys.
Gob got smacked.
Beloski, I saw the KDA from Beloski. Yeah, that's normal. 088. Hey. Beloski, but boy, 079.
But what do you guys think about that build? Was it too greedy, maybe going in full damage? Yes, the Harith?
I think for sure. I think it should have just been a normal build, you know, concentrated energy, sell the boost for Oracle. You would have more ways to deal with Sans. And yes, I understand there's a Bakcha there, so the healing will be cut down, but you need that. We saw a couple of times, if he was able to get just a bit more HP, I think in the team fights, he would be able to win. Like, I'm talking about the Sans chase up top, right? Just a little bit more HP, he would have been able to outplay there. I'm talking about the final fight for the Evolve Lord in that mid bush as well. If he had a bit more sustain, it could have changed things. Over the Blood Wings, that I think in this game, yes, you get additional shielding, and when it pops, you get movement speed. It doesn't really matter.